BSD, here with another great blending video. Today I'm going to show you how to blend the girl's chevron skirt. It is a little bit confusing because as you adjust for length, your seams are not going to match if you do it the conventional way that we normally do it. But there is a somewhat easy way to remedy this, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So I have printed and cut out and taped together the 2T and the 5T. My daughter happens to be a 2T waist with a 5T length. She's a little string bean. And the other thing that I'll do, if you know, or did, if you notice, is I marked the seam allowances on here. Very, very important because you're going to want to overlap on those seam allowances. So I just use this trusty ruler right here, and it has 3/8 markings on it. This is a 3/8 seam, so I went ahead and did it on the bottom of the top A piece, the top and bottom of piece B, and just the top of piece C. So that will help us out further on down the line. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm going to show you what I believe to be the easiest way, and we will go from there. Should be fairly simple, other than the overlapping is the only part that's somewhat difficult. So let me grab a different color here. Okay, so normally what I would have you do is just either continue this line down or draw some cross points here, adjust everything. The problem with this is when you do that, you're going to get several different angles here on the front center back seam. So we want to make this all smooth and make sure that it actually sews out right? So what we're going to do is you're going to take this waistline here of the 2. So you would actually cut this off, and what I'm going to have you do is just bring this 2 line down. Now, this isn't going to be 100% correct, but I'm going to show you how we're going to fix it. Remember, we're trying to do this just kind of the easy way. Bring this 2 down. The width on this is pretty much the same for this piece B. It's really going to majorly affect the piece A and the piece C. So that now we have that. We have this purple line here, which hopefully you can kind of see all the way down. We just brought the pieces down. Now what I want you to do now, this is the important part. I have this blue line, which is the seam line, and this blue line, which is the seam line. So what I want you to do is overlap. This is piece B and piece C, where these lines are the same. Now if I scoot down here a little bit, see how this is going to overlap here? You can see that really clearly. You want those lines to be right on top of each other, because if you think about it, when you were to sew this, these 2 lines would be together, right? That's your seam line. So you want to do that and just bring it where this matches up. You're going to do the same thing for this other side. Now you can see that this isn't 100% matched, which is fine because we're going to fix it, right? So what I want you to do is go ahead and do that for this piece. Also do it for this upper piece. This is piece A and piece B. So we're just going to overlap, overlap, overlap. Okay, so we'll have both of those pieces on there. You can, I mean, I wouldn't personally tape them just because of the fact that you want to be able to take them off. If you had maybe painter's tape, something like that, that could be removed temporarily, that would be good. Or you can just overlap them like this. We have our pieces. They're all lined up, matching the seam lines. We have all 3 pieces lined up. Now what we wanted to do is, see, we have this waist piece here. We have this piece down here for the hem. This is where these 2 pieces end. Now, if you were to cut these, you will see that this 2 piece would have been way, way wider than this other piece B that's matching up. So what you want to actually do is get a ruler. I've got one here. We want to go from the top of this waist seam to the bottom of this hem. Line up your ruler. Let me choose a different color. And we're going to draw one straight line. Which My piece shifted a little bit here. But there you go. There's one straight line all the way. Now you can continue this line here throughout your seam allowance. And I'll show you how to true it here in just a second. You can continue that on, and once again, I'm drawing on my table. But you're gonna cut off this excess. Now, when you go to sew this, you will have one straight line. So let's cut this off. And you can see it's quite a bit of a different angle than both the 5 and the 2. This is, in my opinion, by far the easiest way to do this. So, the other thing we have now is we have these little points. See this point? When you sew this to this bottom piece, let's just put it there, pretend, see what's gonna happen. So when you sew it, see how you have this little excess bit of fabric there? We don't want that. So what you wanna do is line this up. This side should already be trued because we didn't mess with that side. So line this up, flip it over, and see you've got this little excess piece there. So just mark it. And it should meet up with your seam line. Now, if you take this little piece and cut it off, there you go, look at that. You just trued that edge. So now when you go to sew it, you'll have one continuous line there, which means that it'll look nice and pretty. All your edges will be good. So you want to continue and do that with this piece too. I'm gonna do the same thing. Just mark that little edge. And if you're not adjusting for height, your pieces are already trued like this, so you don't have to worry about that. This is only if you're adjusting. Cut that off. There you go. You've now adjusted for length. You've got the waist that you need, the length that you need, and this brand new seam here, and it should all sew together perfectly. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.